Well, welcome to Thought for the Day on this snowy Friday morning. I sometimes wonder if Christianity isn't a bit too, what they call cerebral, too much about thoughts, too much about head knowledge. And we spend, certainly in our church tradition, we put a lot of attention to teaching, to encouraging us to read the Bible, to read good books, to learning. We even have a thought for the day, don't we? We don't have a deed for the day, we have a thought for the day. So is Christianity just about head knowledge, just about thinking? Surely there's more to it than that. Well, I'm sure there is. The Apostle James wrote that religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after widows and orphans in their distress, to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. It's about what we do, James says. But as I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I've been reading the second letter to Peter, or Peter's second letter to churches around the Mediterranean. And in the second verse of 2 Peter chapter 1, he says it again. He says, "Grace and peace be yours in abundance through the knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord." He says, grace and peace come through knowing something. And he goes on to say the same thing. His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him. And through that again, he has given us a great promises, so that through them we may participate in the divine nature, we may be changed on the inside. And a practical thing that James was also talking about: escape the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. So how does that work? That knowing something can actually change us on the inside, can change change how we think, can change how we act. And of course that's true at one level about things in the world as well, isn't it? What we feel, what we do is controlled by what we think, by what we know. And earlier this week, I discovered that Ashmore Park had the highest rate of COVID, highest case rate of COVID outside London and the southeast. Nowhere else in the Midlands or the North or the South or the Southwest has a case rate as high as Ashmore Park. It's shocking. 110 cases in the last week, I think it was, on Wednesday. And that changed. That wasn't just a fact, but it actually changed. It made practical differences. It meant that when we were thinking about whether we should continue meeting as church, we decided it wasn't wise. There's so many people have COVID in our community that to meet together was just inviting to spreading that infection further. On a more cheerful note, the knowledge that the vaccine was coming has changed the way people behave. I know a number of people have thought, well, now the end is in sight. I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to keep in. I'm not going to go out. When I didn't know when the vaccine was coming, I thought, well, I've got to keep going. I'm going to keep going to church. But now the end is in sight. No, I'll stay in. I'll wait till I get it. And then I might feel different about going out. That knowledge of something that should be coming in the future has changed the way people behave. And how much more to know who Jesus is, to know that he is the Lord, he's the true King, he's the one who made us, he's the one to whom we owe everything. To know that he invites us to follow him. He gives us something to aim for, to want. That passage talks about our desires. He gives us desires that will not disappoint us. Lots of things we want, in the end, disappoint us. The new toy, the new bit of technology, the nice food. It's nice for a moment, but ultimately it disappoints. Whereas to know Jesus and to live our life for his glory is to know something that will never disappoint us. And of course there is too that second sense of knowing, isn't there? The sense of knowing as in knowing a person, not just knowing about them. And having known Helen now for over 40 years, I know a lot about her. I know a lot about her habits, what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she's good at, what she's knowledgeable about. I know lots and lots and lots about her. But I know her, but my knowledge of her is more than knowledge about her. It's actually knowing her as a person, being known by her. I know her as a friend, as a lifelong companion, as a partner in everything that we do. And we can know Jesus in that sense too. In him we have a friend who will never move away, a friend who will never grow old and frail, a friend who will never be so shocked by something we say and do that he'll never speak to us again, a friend who will never get fed up with us. So knowledge, both in the sense of knowing about and knowing, does change us. And Peter is right when he says that we can have all grace and peace through knowing Jesus. So I'm not going to stop teaching. I'm not going to stop reading and learning myself. And I hope you won't too. Because as we know Jesus in both senses of the word, it gives us something that will really transform us. I hope you have a good week, good weekend, Good Friday, good weekend. I hope to join with you online for our service on Sunday, if possible. And if not, we'll be back for Thought for the Day next week. God bless.